LSU spring football on Saturday. Long look for us in the media on Saturday. It was interesting. I wrote a practice report up for LouisianaSports.net. So they've got us on the balcony of the new facility now. It's like the balcony of the Players Lounge, which is very nice, by the way, as you might expect. But we're on the balcony, and we used to be able to kind of walk the sidelines of the fields, and now you're cooped up in one spot. And for the last 40 minutes of practice, they were doing some goal line drills and some 2-minute stuff on the field furthest from us. So they were 145, 150 yards away. And there was a observation tower between us and the scrimmage. And half the players had their jerseys rolled up under their shoulder pads. So it was some real spotty reporting from where we were with this stuff.
You got to start bringing some binoculars, huh?
I mean, so the binoculars wouldn't have even helped with the tower in the way
That's
and the
true.
players with their rolled up jerseys. So I feel bad because I feel like we're reporting on the practice and people care about LSU football and they want to know how things are going. It's there are portions of this practice that they are doing everything they can to make it almost impossible for us to provide quality information. And I feel bad for the reader at times. There's nothing I can do if they're behind an observation tower and all the DBs had their jerseys rolled up and I can't tell what number any of them are wearing. And they're 160 yards away. So I tried to be as informative as I could in my practice report for LouisianaSports.net. But one of the things that I'm starting to take away from some of these spring practices and I wanted to talk about was I feel like some of the wide receivers are really having a nice early spring. I think Chris Hilton's done amazingly well, and that is more of what we saw in the fall before he got hurt. He made a great catch over the middle over Michael Turner for a touchdown. And it's stuff like that we see, from the route running to the catches in traffic to things that are in his game now that are more complete than, oh, this dude is really fast, watch him run a go route, which he's still really good at. He's awesome at running go routes, but he's doing some things that make him a more complete receiver. And I think that is really encouraging to see. I think Chris Hilton could be really, really good in this LSU offense. I think he's a much better route runner than he was 3 years ago. I think he's got better hands than he had 3 years ago. I think he's physically stronger than he was 3 years ago. The only thing that remains to be seen is, as you know, Chris Hilton staying healthy. And if he does that, I think you're talking about a guy who's going to be a really, really productive wide receiver for LSU. I've liked Aaron Anderson's spring as well. They've gotten him involved in some stuff a little bit more down the field, as you saw at times last year. When you look at Anderson, you think of him as just a guy who is going to be a slot guy who's just going to run some little out routes and make linebackers look bad in space and make 6 and 7 yard catches. But he's doing some things down the field that I think are really good. And one guy that I've really been impressed with in this game in total is Barion Brown. He was a big-time recruit. He's got great speed, and you know about the kick returns. But you've seen Barion Brown now, in some route running stuff, look really good. And I honestly believe that this is a case where the offense he was in was so inept that he was essentially neutered from any production. You couldn't get him involved because the Kentucky passing game was so archaic and so bad. And I think that there's something they can unlock in him for sure. One of the better reps that we saw on Saturday was Barion Brown running essentially a deep post route against DJ Pickett. And Brown won off the line of scrimmage and really ran by Pickett. And the ball was just a tick underthrown. And Pickett closed on Barion Brown, speedster. Pickett showed some speed, closed, and knocked it away. And to me, that was good on everybody. Good for Barion Brown for winning off the line of scrimmage and getting loose. Good for DJ Pickett to close and make a play on the ball. That's the kind of rep that you like to see. If somebody just gets absolutely cooked, well, that's great for the offensive guy, but what does that say about the defense? And if a guy just is locked up every single time, that's great for the defense, but what does it say about the offense? That's one where you saw positives from both guys, and Pickett has been in the mix. We talked about DJ Pickett last week and just how impressed that a lot of folks are with him, and Mansour Delane, certainly one of them. But I thought that was one of the better reps that we saw. So as far as the pass catchers against the DBs, I've seen some good things from the defensive backs. Deshaun Spears made a great play running stride for stride with Bauer Sharp and knocked away a crossing route that was a really nice job in coverage. Joel Rogers, another safety, got a hand on a ball that was intended for Xavier Thomas. It was a good play there. I mentioned Pickens' play. The one time that the offense, it was a clear rep that was just, whoa, that was a domination. Xavier Thomas ran a double move in the red zone against Javian Toviano and just left him in the dust and was wide open. Nussmeier hit him very easily. I thought that Garrett Nussmeier had a pretty nice day as well. He was in the 7 for 7 portion. He was 5 of 6 in the middle of the field. Then they went to the red zone, and that's where things got the clamps got put on LSU's receivers to an extent in the red zone. And I like to see that because I was sick and tired of going out there the last 2 years and watching LSU's offense score a touchdown on every single rep in the red zone. I mean, it was just pitch and catch for 2 years. And this time, LSU, the defensive players did a good job. The first rep they were in the red zone, Nussmeier scrambled so long that they blew the play dead. There was an incompletion to Aaron Anderson. They had double coverage there. There was a touchdown, but it was tipped by the LSU defense, and Trey Green made a play on a tip drill. There was a great touchdown throw from Garrett Nussmeier into a tight window to Barion Brown in the middle of the end zone, which was a great throw and catch. Chris Hilton just dropped one in the corner. It did hit his hands. It would have been a really good play, but he did a good job to get open on that play. So there were times where the defensive backs made their presence known. There were times where LSU made some big plays through the air. The other piece to this on the offense that certainly bears mentioning is Josh Thompson. And Josh Thompson was out at practice for the first time since the media has been allowed to observe, and he was working at right tackle. He was with the twos exclusively and working at tackle. The other chess piece on the offensive line has been Braylon Moore. I had not seen DJ Chester take a rep at guard in the first week and a half of spring. He did take some reps at right guard for LSU with Braylon Moore at center, both in a run game period and in the 11-on-11. They did it a little bit later. So you're seeing both DJ Chester and Braylon Moore take reps at the center position. I would still feel like Braylon Moore is going to be the center, but DJ Chester's repping a ton at center throughout the spring. So maybe that's because he knows where to be and they're going with the veterans early and they'll see kind of how things shake out later. Or maybe they really still like him there. But I kind of figured that Chester would be a guard. He did work there a little bit, but Braylon Moore was with the second team and then mixed in with the first team at center. Let's see if there's anything else that I saw. Oh, it was in my practice report. Tamarcus Cooley was not seen at practice. However, he did post on social media. It looked like he was at some sort of funeral service there, so that certainly would make some sense. And then the quote-unquote, and I use air quotes here because some guys were not at practice, and you're sometimes looking at some other combinations variably. But the first 11 on defense, Jamari Butler and Patrick Payton on the ends with Amon Bro and Dominic McKinley at tackle. West Weeks and Devon Keys at linebacker, DJ Pickett and Michael Turner at corner, Austin Osbury at nickel, and then you had Deshaun Spears and Joel Rogers at safety. I did not see Ashton Stamps out there, standing to reason that he would probably be in that mix. But that's the look at the first defense, although we know that that's not a ton to look at in the spring. They're rotating a lot of guys in and out. So it's kind of a comprehensive look at a lot of things that I saw on Saturday out on the Ponderosa. LSU's back at it tomorrow. Joe Sloan will meet with the media tomorrow, so we'll hope to have some of that sound ready for you on tomorrow. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.